All right, welcome to Business Owners Speak Out. We are here today with Carlos. Welcome, Carlos.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. So, why don't you just kick us off and we'll jump right into it? Tell us a little bit about your business, how you got started, and what you do.
Okay. The name of the company is Ugly Guppy Productions. We do screen print and embroidery is our primary business, but we also do some promotional products, some minimal signage and things like that. So I started the company in 2002, so we're about 24 years into it. So we've been
Wow, congrats. That's a big
yeah,
feat.
it is. And we were home based. We were working out of a garage. But as the years gone by, we've added more equipment, and we've got a space. Obviously it got big or bigger than home based. But the backstory of it is I was in HFD. I was an HFD paramedic for 10 years,
Okay.
and my station wanted to get station shirts. So me and a buddy of mine decided rather than paying for samples that we try to make our own samples. We thought it wouldn't be too bad. We thought it'd be easy, and it was very much not easy. So initially we bought a manual press on eBay for like $3,000. And we had to drive to like Santa Fe to pick it up. Um, we brought it back, and at that time it was actually predates. I think it predates internet. It definitely predates YouTube and any of that stuff. So we had a book. There was at that time there was a book that was like the Screen Printer's Guide, and it was the self-proclaimed screen printer's Bible. So we kind of, we tried and errored it, and we prayed, and we never got the station shirts off the ground, and we never, but after, trial and error and practicing, and we didn't realize how much equipment was needed. You needed equipment to burn the screens, and you needed a dryer to cure the shirts, and it was just kind of a stumbling, crazy process, right? But through that, I did start making station shirts, and then as that goes, somebody's wife was a principal in the school, or somebody's wife was a nurse at this hospital that needed shirts, and started doing that route. And we picked up some of our first bigger clients were like St. Ambrose Catholic School, which
Oh, nice.
we're still printing for them. And then we picked up a lot of ODC, a lot of Garden Oaks, Oak Forest. We had some church festivals off of St. Patrick's over there in the north side, and they were they'd buy 500 shirts for their festival. So anyway, we got a little steam rolling, and that's how we started.
Awesome. And is shirts your favorite thing to print or the most popular thing, or what do you enjoy? What's your favorite product?
Hmm. You know, I enjoy the process of taking an idea and getting it to the final stage. There's kind of I always like to say it's kind of an artistic outlet. I've never been super duper artistic, but I've always liked it. I've drawn, and initially, I also worked at Ben Taub for the fire department on a side job. Well, we were in this little room. Four of us were like, my shifts were 16. They were either 12 or 16-hour shifts, but I was picking 16. So at that time, I would take these books, these training books on Photoshop and Corel Draw, and they came with a little CD for the exercises and things like that. So I'd go through the books. So that's how I learned how to do all the art. And I went through 4 or 5 of these books, and they're big books. They look like
Yeah.
the encyclopedia, or big, huge books. And that's how I learned to do it. So the actual, t-shirts do lend themselves a little more to half tones and to more artistic kind of what you would consider art, as opposed to embroidery or something else. But I don't really have a favorite. I mean, I like t-shirts because they buy a lot of them, and it's the money maker. But as far as the process in the computer, um, that's my favorite part. Actually, sometimes my favorite, and then sometimes, lots of times, it's my least favorite. That's where a project will bog down, and that's where it's completely subjective. So you say, "Oh, you're the expert, go for it," which is what everybody says, and then when I do go for it, then we're not on the same page. You like minimalistic, or you like retro, or it's just so subjective to each person's personal preference that I need to get a little guidance. But yeah, we're having these new, and now there's some new technologies that really allow for a lot of artistic explosion, and allow for single pieces where prior, minimums were a big deal. But with these new technologies now, they either print directly on the shirt, or there's some transfers. But they're not your grandparents transferred from the mall. You know what I mean? They're soft, they last. You'd be the challenge to spot the difference, in many cases. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, so.
Awesome. And you said you work with some schools or churches or different things like that, organizations. Do you have a target market? Like, who's your ideal customer?
You know, I've over the years, and especially recently, I'm trying to narrow that down. Those are target markets in the fact that they're large volumes and they replace yearly. It's a new class that goes into school every August. These seasons are coming up for the band or for the football or something. So those are, the schools are probably a good market because of that. Also, service industries, mid-sized service industries, because they go through their shirts quick. They have a short life because they're out
Sure.
there every day working and sweating in them and sun's fading them. And, with the technology has come a long way where they last, but, anything in that sort of harsh environment is going to wear out,
Yeah, for sure.
60 washings, 70 washings, and it's time for a new shirt,
Yeah,
so.
and oil and grease and
Exactly.
hurt and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, totally got that.
Yeah.
And so, what you mentioned that you're kind of self-taught. You've read a lot of books. You've done a lot of stuff to get to where you are, which is phenomenal. What would you say is one of the biggest business challenges that maybe somebody else can learn from who's starting a business or is in business?
Okay. Well, it's funny you asked that because I'm going to backtrack a little bit, but I've never had any formal business training. So I just got accepted to the SBA Thrive program. I don't know if you've heard
Nice.
of it.
Yeah.
I actually start on Monday.
Awesome.
So I'm
Congrats.
excited to have my first actual kind of formal training or classroom setting kind of deals there. But some of the things that I've learned, pitfalls along the way, is, and this is probably the biggest one, is that there's no perfect time. A lot of people want to wait until they have exactly the right amount of money, exactly the right client, and then it never happens. So you do have to jump out there. And I'm not saying to go get a second mortgage on your house, tomorrow, because you have a whim idea, but that paralysis or that I need to wait till I'm proficient, completely proficient, because I learned on the go, and I turned in shirts that washed off, on the first washing, or the size was just ridiculous on the art. They didn't fit to what we were. I've made all the mistakes. And they are painful while you're doing it, but they're guaranteed you don't do that again, or they
Yeah.
really help you to do that. So
We say
that
fail fast, right? Get it out of the way,
exactly,
move forward, right?
exactly.
Fail fast.
So one is, you can't wait till it's the exact perfect circumstances, because often I don't think those circumstances exist.
No.
So that's one. Two, the other biggest mistake that I've seen, that I've done, and I've kind of seen, is a lot of people try to give this entry level pricing to get the customers, and it doesn't work, because first of all, the ones you get are only looking for the bottom price, so they're going to jump as soon as the next person is cheaper than you. That's one.
Mm-hmm.
Two, once you get them, then you try to raise to the regular prices. Well, that just doesn't look good. And three, what I found, this is a good one, is that cheaper doesn't it people don't see you as a legitimate business if you're not charging the right prices. They think you're just you're only deserving of what they feel like giving you,
Yep.
because screen fees and art fees and things like that, I never did them, and I always, and they're happy to pay it to a bigger company because it's a perceived bigger company, when in fact it's doing the opposite of what you intended to do by lowering the price. You're delegitimizing and devaluing your company. And those are three that I've learned.
Those are phenomenal and so true. I mean, we teach that you should be selling on value, not on price, because again, there's no loyalty, and
No.
you are devaluing. And people look at things that are low priced and go, "There must be something wrong with it," or
Exactly.
"It's not going to be durable," or "It's not going to last."
Exactly.
So yeah, you got to stand by your price and what you do, and sell on value. So
Mhm.
awesome, I love it. Any other advice? So maybe not a mistake you've made, but any other advice you'd give to business owners?
Well, this last year or two, I started doing networking. I actually went to one of your classes, but I think you had COVID on the one that I went to.
I have young kids. I get sick every week.
Yeah, so you weren't actually there, but I've started networking a lot this last. I'd say I'm going on a year now. I had joined
Okay.
the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, the Heights Chamber of Commerce, and I've done a couple of I've gone like as a guest That's what I did 2 years. And it's proving to be fruitful, and it's proven to be fun, and it's proven to be a great source of clients and information.
Yeah.
Because once you start to get together with other business owners, you can be like, hey, who do you use for your website? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Or what are, and you start real world problem discussing, not theoretics, but what your pain points are. I think I throw them out there, and some people will have I got a great guy. I got a great guy for that. And I got,
Yeah.
and what I'm finding, luckily for me, is that there's not a whole lot of screen printers in these groups. So, in almost every industry, in some sort of branded apparel,
Yeah.
and we have, with that new technology and with embroidery, we can. Two single pieces or small orders, or it doesn't have to be a single piece, but you could get three different polos or an Oxford shirt or a little jacket, a windbreaker or something like that. And everybody needs it. Everybody, whatever size they are, and it's proven to be pretty fruitful. Also, I became minority certified this
Nice.
last year, and Hub, historically underutilized business, certified this last year too. Part of this was I'm trying to become an official vendor with HISD, which has been proven. That's my biggest pain point right now. It is an act of Congress.
Yeah.
I'm in these other districts, and it's basically a form that you fill out or something. But these guys are. I don't know if it's. I'm still working on it. So I'll let you guys know if that ever happens. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's awesome that you're working towards that. And I will go back to just the networking, right? Networking works when you do it with intention. So
Mm-hmm.
many people go to networking events and they just assume that they're going to get business, or they're going to assume somebody's going to walk up to them. It's like, no, you got to go with a goal. Who are you want to meet? Who are you going to talk to? How many people are you going to connect with? So as long as you go with intention, it is 100% worth it. Yeah. Awesome.
The gentleman that brought me to yours. Did that. He
Yeah.
went every time, and he had a goal of setting 3 meetings to follow up with afterwards, and as he did that with me, I met him at one, and he was very intentional like that, and
Awesome.
I'm just getting there, and I'm hoping a lot of these new classes I'm taking, I'm tired of stumbling my way through it,
Yeah.
and we've grown and we've grown and we've grown, but I kind of feel like we've reached to get to the next step, it's going to take some organized delivery
For sure.
action,
For sure.
because
Yeah.
yeah.
So you've been doing this since 2002. That's a long time. How do you stay motivated? Because like we've already talked about, there's ups and downs. So how do you keep yourself
you
motivated to keep
know,
going?
I, I've had some lows, especially creative lows, but lows where it's just a lot. I've always been a little bit high strung, and I've always worked. I've worked since I was like 12, so it's just my normal. But honestly, I need to pay the light bill. It's the biggest motivator. I need to put food on the table and pay the light bill. But I guess since it's my baby, this company, it's a little easier to stay motivated, and especially now that we're growing. But you have to have the right personality and the right, you have to be a little crazy to be self-employed. It's tough, and then there's no sick days, no holidays, no, if you don't go to work, no money comes in, and that kind of stuff. But um, I think for me personally. I'm just kind of wired that way, But I have had lows, especially here lately, But now that I'm trying to get to that next step, it's another shot in the arm. I'm back to square one, And sometimes I
Yeah.
have to pull myself to the side and say, you know what, you're not doing well. You're misbehaving, so to speak. You need to kind of regroup, refocus, and get it together. I don't take really days off. Every now and then I'll take if I take a vacation, it's like a Thursday to a Sunday or something like that, But I'm working on all of that. I'm working on this company running without me in here,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the next goal. Those are all the next steps, because
Awesome.
I'm
Love to
starting
hear
to
it.
have a exit strategy coming. I'm getting up there a little bit in
Yeah.
age, and I'm
Yeah.
starting to put that together. So
And well, I'm glad that you have that mindset of let's create something that runs without me so that I can enjoy life. Right? I
exactly.
can enjoy it. How do you guys have social media? Is there a way for people to support you, connect with you? What would you like people to do that are listening?
Okay. Well, the name of the company is Ugly Guppy.
Uh
So
huh.
the website is just uglyguppy.com. That's Guppy.
And
So
why is it Ugly Guppy?
there's a story for that too. So let's backtrack. So when I was in the fire department, a medic, and my buddy of mine, or actually my high school buddy, was driving me in the ambulance, and we were cruising around downtown. It was like a weekday morning, and 94 by the bus had some sort of little excerpt that said that ugly guppies reproduce less frequently than non-ugly guppies. So it's kind of a ridiculous deal because for one, who's going to pick which ones are ugly and which ones are not, right? But at that time, my buddy that was driving me was in a band, in a rock and roll band. So he just kind of just cracked up at it, and he was like, "That's hilarious. That's great. That's a great name for a band. Great name for a song. Great name for something, you know." And then fast forward, 7 or 8 years down the road, time to name the company. I have no idea what to name it. It's just stuck in my head from that little conversation, and that's where I got it from. So the goal of it was to be memorable, right? To
Yeah.
You throw it out there, to like, what? Say that again? What
Yeah.
And I I got lucky that I think I hit a home run from the word go, because if I'm on the phone with the vendor and they're looking up my information, they're gonna pause and either say, "Oh, I love that," "Oh, that's great," or "That's something," and it's worked largely the way I had envisioned it, and I got lucky on that. Then I put a cool, it's actually a piranha, but I put a cool little logo with it, and it served me well over the years.
Good.
So as far as how you can get a hold of me, Ugly Guppy. So that's the first thing. You can go to the website. I'm on all the social medias, primarily Facebook and Instagram, and it's just facebook.com/Ugly Guppy or Instagram, /Ugly Guppy. You can do a search for those, and you guys, my cell phone number is 281-704-4534. Send me a text. It's there's no home time and work time. It's work time all the time. So send me if you got and that's the deal with Instagram and things like that, because now you get young people and they do business at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. and that's
Yeah.
just the way it is, and I do my best. I try to do my 8 to 5, but it comes home with you. There's no off button, so I'm available.
So I think the last thing we were talking about was you were talking about how to connect,
Okay.
right? So they can find you on all of the social medias. And are you still there? I think you're messing up again.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm here.
Interesting. Okay, sorry. All right. So let's go ahead and I want to know. We like to get to know the business owners as well as the business. So, are there any things you like to do for fun? Any secret hobbies, hidden talents that you want to share?
The only thing I got is that I ride. I ride bikes. I used to ride motorcycles and bicycles, but I sold my motorcycle. So I've done the MS 150 like 3 or 4
Oh, nice.
times. I do it on a fixed gear. I don't know. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but it's just one gear. There's no backpedaling. It's just fixed. So there's no brakes. There's no gears. There's no anything. So
Oh my.
it's intense. So I've done, but other than that, movies, love movies, and just regular old people stuff. But that's my favorite one. It's the writing. So
Nice. Very cool. Well, is there anything else? I know we both have to head out and go on with our busy lives. Is there anything else that we haven't covered that you want people to know about you or your business?
no, I think that's been it. I really appreciate you having me on here, and this was actually fun. I saw the what you sent me for the questions, but I really didn't know what I was going to say, and it's just off the cuff. But I enjoyed it and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you being on, and we look forward to getting this out to everybody so that they can connect with you and help promote what you do and hopefully get some business for you. So thank you guys for joining us on another episode of Business Owners Speak Out. See you next time.